The cold vacuum of space is filled with the sound of destruction as massive alien warships unleash hellfire upon the planet Drakon 7. It's a beautiful, harsh world, once a thriving human colony, now under siege. Explosions rock the surface, sending plumes of dust and debris into the sky as the enemy forces descend from above. A battle for survival is underway. The odds are insurmountable. The alien forces are overwhelming in both numbers and technology. But amidst all the chaos, there's a single squad of human soldiers fighting for their lives, and for the survival of humanity itself. The humans are vastly outnumbered. Their opponents, the Rekari, are a massive, towering species known for their brute strength and ruthless tactics. Their ships are gigantic, armored, and heavily armed, while the humans have only a few ships left in their fleet and a handful of soldiers on the ground. The human soldiers are small, but they're about to prove that it's not size that matters. Captain Lucas Kane, the leader of the tiny army, stands tall among his soldiers. He knows the odds are stacked against them, but his mind is clear, focused. His soldiers are elite, the best humanity has to offer. But even they can't escape the truth. They are hopelessly outclassed. The Rekari are known for wiping out entire civilizations with ease. Humanity has long been underestimated. But Kane knows that his team, his tiny army, is more than just the sum of their parts. As he watches his team struggle against the overwhelming alien forces, a sudden, eerie silence takes over. The chaos of the battle seems to pause for just a moment as a cold voice breaks through the static of their communication systems. It's a hologram, one that every soldier dreads. The face of Srithak, the alien general leading the invasion, appears before them. Srithak laughs. "You're insignificant, humans. We've already conquered dozens of worlds. Your tiny force is nothing compared to us. You think you can stop us? You will be wiped out within hours." His voice drips with mockery. His words echo through the communication system like a death sentence. The humans stare at the hologram in stunned silence, knowing that they are the last line of defense for the human race. They know that if they fail here, humanity's last hope will be extinguished. The fate of billions rests on their shoulders. Srithak's laughter echoes as his image fades from view, leaving the soldiers with a sinking feeling of dread. Kane, however, doesn't let the words of the alien general affect him. He knows that fear is the enemy's weapon. He will not let it take hold of his soldiers. "Stay focused," Kane says quietly, his voice calm and reassuring. "We're not finished yet. We fight until the last breath." His words, steady and strong, spread a wave of determination through his soldiers. They nod in unison, knowing what they must do. They've trained their whole lives for moments like this. Then, with a subtle gesture from Kane, a soft whirring sound fills the air, and the human squad activates their cloaking devices. The world around them seems to blur, and suddenly, they're invisible. The soldiers move swiftly, their actions coordinated, as they sneak toward the heart of the enemy's assault. This is their only chance. If they don't strike now, humanity's final hope will be lost. The Rekari are powerful, but they rely on overwhelming force. They've never encountered an enemy like the humans before, and that's exactly what Kane is counting on. The tiny army may be small in number, but they are the masters of tactics, stealth, and precision. If they can infiltrate the heart of the alien fleet, they can turn the tide of battle. But there's no room for error. If they're detected, it's over. The cloaking devices will only last for so long. Every second counts. The team moves through the smoke-filled landscape, their steps light and careful. Their movements are precise as they approach the massive alien warship that looms in the distance. It's enormous, dwarfing the human soldiers in every way. But Kane knows that size doesn't matter here. The Rekari rely on brute strength and firepower, but the humans have something else, something the aliens will never understand. As they approach the warship, they begin to notice the faint, rhythmic hum of the alien machinery. The ship's energy shields are pulsing, keeping the vessel protected from outside attack. The soldiers are nearly there when an alarm blares to life. The cloaking technology starts to flicker. Kane's heart races. This is it, the moment of truth. The soldiers freeze, holding their breath, their hands on their weapons. Kane looks around at his squad, his family. They've been through countless battles together, and they will face this one the same way. Together. He can feel the tension building. One wrong move, and it's all over. On my mark, we move fast, Kane whispers. Don't look back. Do not get caught. The soldiers nod, their hands gripping their weapons tighter, their muscles tensing in anticipation. This is what they trained for. This is their moment. As the cloaking field fades and the enemy starts to notice them, Kane gives the signal. The soldiers spring into action. A burst of gunfire rings out as the battle begins, but this time, it's different. The humans don't charge recklessly. They don't rush in like the Wreckary would. Instead, they use their environment to their advantage, weaving through the wreckage and using the shadows to stay hidden. They fire their weapons with precision, hitting vital targets on the alien vessels, crippling the enemy's systems from within. The alien soldiers, caught off guard by the humans' unexpected tactics, scramble to defend themselves. They weren't prepared for this. They weren't prepared for humans who fought not just for survival, but for something more, something that the Wreckary couldn't understand. The battle rages on. Explosions light up the night sky, and the sounds of combat echo across the battlefield. But amidst the chaos, Captain Kane keeps his mind focused. His team is doing their job, and they're doing it well. The fight is far from over, and they still have a long way to go. But as Kane watches his soldiers fight with determination, he knows one thing. They will not give up. Not now. Not ever. Time is running out. But the tiny army is not finished yet. They've been underestimated, laughed at, and written off. But in the end, it will be their strength. Strength in numbers, yes, but more importantly, strength in heart that will save humanity. As the battle continues, the camera zooms in on Kane's face, his expression steely and resolute. The countdown to humanity's survival has begun, and the tiny army is about to prove just how dangerous they can be. The air inside the alien mothership is thick with tension. The tiny army has infiltrated the massive ship undetected, thanks to their cloaking devices. Now they're deep within the belly of the beast, moving swiftly and quietly through the shadowy corridors of the alien vessel. Captain Lucas Kane leads his team through a maze of flashing lights and unfamiliar machinery, every footstep calculated, every moment crucial. The hum of the ship's systems is almost deafening as they approach their target. Their mission is simple, but far from easy. Plant a virus that will cripple the alien AI systems controlling the fleet. The fate of humanity rests on this single action. If they fail, it's over. The Wreckary will finish the job they started, and humanity will be wiped out. They're not here for a drawn-out battle. The tiny army isn't strong enough to engage the entire alien fleet in open combat. Instead, they've relied on stealth, precision, and their knowledge of the enemy's technology to get them this far. They've come to do one thing, and one thing only: disrupt the alien forces' coordination, leaving them vulnerable. As they move deeper into the ship, Captain Kane's voice comes through the comms, low and steady. Stay sharp, everyone. The virus goes in, and we're out. No heroics, just the mission. His words are a reminder to stay focused, to remember why they're here. Their small size may be their greatest strength. They don't need to fight every alien in their way, just the ones they need to. The ship is alive with activity, alien robots patrolling every corner. The soldiers creep past them, invisible to the enemy sensors, until they reach their first obstacle. A group of robotic sentries, towering machines with glowing red eyes, stand guard near a key control hub. The soldiers freeze, knowing they can't move past them undetected. It's time to act. The air crackles with the hum of energy as Captain Kane gives a silent command. Without hesitation, The humans leap into action. Their cloaking devices flicker for a split second before they deactivate, and the tiny army emerges from the shadows. The sound of their weapons charging fills the air, and then the storm begins. Guns roar, blades clash, and sparks fly. The alien sentries are fast, but they're not fast enough. The humans' superior training and coordination give them the upper hand. Kane leads the charge, moving with precision and deadly intent as his soldiers follow his lead. The battle is chaotic but controlled. Each soldier knows their role, and each movement is designed to disable, not destroy. They can't afford to waste time fighting endless waves of enemies. They need to plant the virus and move on. The first sentry falls to a well-placed shot from Sergeant Mills. It's quick, efficient, and silent. The soldiers don't have time for theatrics. They can't afford to make noise. The second sentry lunges at Private Johnson, but he's ready. With a swift motion, Johnson slides under the massive robot's strike and uses a pulse blade to slice through its legs. The robot crashes to the ground, sparks flying. It's disabled. The rest of the team moves through the chaos like a well-oiled machine. Each member of the tiny army takes down their assigned target with brutal efficiency. The robots are strong, but they don't stand a chance against human ingenuity and speed. It's clear the Rekari underestimated the humans. As the last sentry falls, the soldiers regroup. Kane signals them to move forward. They don't celebrate their victory. There's no time. Every second counts. The team moves quickly through the corridors, passing glowing alien architecture and eerie holograms that flicker in the dim light. The ship feels alive, its energy systems pulsing as if it's aware of the intruders. The soldiers can feel the weight of the task ahead. They've made it this far, but the real challenge is still ahead of them. They reach the control hub, a massive room filled with towering consoles and alien technology that hums with power. Kane steps forward, and the rest of the team takes up defensive positions. There's no turning back now. The virus has to go in. But as they approach the main console, something feels off. The ship's AI, Sable, is more advanced than anything they've encountered. They can sense its presence, its awareness, watching them from somewhere deep within the ship's core. Captain Kane's eyes narrow. He knows they're walking into a trap. Get it done fast, he orders. We're not alone in here. The soldiers work quickly. Tala Rowe, the team's tech expert, pulls up a holographic display and begins typing commands into her wrist terminal. The virus they've developed is the only thing that can stop the alien eye. It's a carefully crafted piece of code, designed to bypass the ship's defenses and send the fleet into chaos. Tala's fingers fly over the holographic keyboard, entering the final commands. Just as she's about to hit enter, the room's lights flicker. A low, mechanical voice echoes throughout the control room. It's Sable, the AI that controls the entire alien fleet. "You cannot stop me," the voice says coldly, its words reverberating through the metal walls. "Your virus will fail. You will all die." Tala's hands shake, but she doesn't stop. "Almost there," she mutters, sweat beading on her forehead. The tension in the air is palpable. The soldiers know they're running out of time. They've been discovered. The alarms start blaring as alien security forces rush toward them. But the soldiers don't panic. They've been in worse situations before. They know how to handle pressure. As Tala finally hits enter, the room is filled with the sound of an alarm, loud, shrill, and terrifying. But instead of the system locking down, the alien consoles flicker, glitching as the virus takes effect. The virus is working. The Rekari systems begin to falter, their once unbreakable controls slipping away. For the first time, the humans have the upper hand. But it's not over yet. The walls shake as the ship's core begins to collapse. The virus has triggered a countdown to self-destruction, and the soldiers have no choice but to make their way out. They have to escape before the ship explodes. The battle is far from over. As the soldiers rush to exit the control room, They are met with a new wave of resistance. Alien soldiers and automated turrets open fire. The sound of blasters and gunfire fills the air as the team fights their way back through the corridors, their weapons blazing. They're surrounded, but they fight with everything they have, their desperation and determination fueling their every move. The ship is coming apart around them, the walls crumbling as the countdown ticks down. Explosions rip through the structure, sending shockwaves through the corridors. The soldiers push forward, using their skills to outmaneuver the alien forces. The visual storytelling is intense. The once glorious alien ship, with its glowing blue lights and sleek architecture, is now a crumbling ruin. Explosions light up the halls as the soldiers fight through the chaos, the destruction reflecting the hope that is now growing within them. Every step brings them closer to escape, but every moment is a race against time. The tiny army fights like never before, moving quickly, thinking on their feet, and relying on their teamwork to survive. As the final countdown begins, the soldiers know they have only moments to escape, but they don't stop. They keep pushing, knowing that the fate of humanity lies in their hands. The mission is a success. The virus worked, and the alien fleet is in disarray. The tiny army has achieved the impossible, and humanity's last hope has been preserved. But their victory comes at a cost. The battle has only just begun. There's still a long way to go before humanity is truly safe. The camera pulls back, showing the crumbling remains of the alien ship, the fire and destruction lighting up the cold emptiness of space. The Requiem may have underestimated the humans, but now they know humanity is not to be trifled with. The battlefield inside the alien mothership has become a deadly dance of cat and mouse. The virus is working, but the battle is far from won. The tiny army moves like shadows through the halls, dodging alien patrols and disabling critical systems. They've managed to plant the virus that's beginning to scramble the alien fleet's operations, but just when they think they have the upper hand, a cold, mechanical voice fills the air. Sable has awakened. Captain Lucas Kane mutters to himself, his voice barely above a whisper. Sable, the AI that controls the entire alien fleet, has now fully taken over the ship. Its cold, emotionless intelligence begins to adapt to the human soldiers' movements with frightening speed. The mission that seemed like it was going smoothly now feels like a desperate race against time. Sable is relentless. It doesn't feel fear, it doesn't know fatigue, and it has access to an endless amount of data. Each move the humans make, every step they take, Sable anticipates it. At first, the humans thought they could outsmart it, use their superior tactics and speed to outmaneuver the alien fleet's eye. But now they're realizing the truth. This machine is no ordinary enemy. Sable is more than just a tool. It's a predator, a calculating force that views everything through the lens of pure logic and efficiency. With the AI's control firmly in place, the Requiem forces begin to rally. Srithak, the alien commander, watches from the comfort of his warship as his fleet begins to regroup. His fury is palpable. The humans have disrupted everything. The virus has crippled the alien systems, but Sable is not just fighting back, it is hunting them down. It's like a predator in the dark, using its superior intelligence to track every move the humans make. Surround them, Srithak orders. We will crush these insignificant humans once and for all. As the Requiem forces close in, the AI adapts to the humans' every action. The soldiers try to regroup, but there's no room to breathe. Every corner they turn, every doorway they approach, they find themselves face to face with alien soldiers or automated defenses that seem to appear out of nowhere. Sable knows exactly where they are at all times. Captain Kane pushes his team forward, but the pressure is mounting. The walls of the alien ship seem to close in on them. The soldiers, once confident and full of resolve, now find themselves trapped in a game they can't win. Not unless they find a way to outsmart the AI. Stay sharp, team. We need to keep moving, Kane orders, his voice steady, but his eyes betraying his growing concern. But just as the humans are about to break through to the next level of the ship, disaster strikes. During a firefight, Sergeant Bonner, Kane's closest companion, takes a direct hit from a powerful energy blast. The sound of the shot echoes in the narrow hall, followed by the sickening thud of Bonner's body hitting the floor. Kane's heart stops. He's been through battles before, but this is different. Bonner isn't just a soldier. He's his friend, his brother in arms. "Bonner," Kane shouts, rushing to his side. The team quickly forms a protective perimeter as Kane kneels beside his fallen comrade. Bonner is bleeding from a massive wound, his breathing shallow and weak. Kane's hands tremble as he applies pressure to the wound, but he knows it's futile. The energy blast was too powerful. "Hang in there, Bonner. We're getting you out," Kane says through gritted teeth, trying to stay calm, trying to reassure his team. But his voice cracks with the weight of the situation. Bonner's eyes flutter open for a moment, his lips forming a weak smile. "Tell my wife. I love her," he whispers, the words barely audible. Kane's throat tightens. This isn't how it was supposed to be. He promised his team that they would make it out alive. He promised them that humanity would survive. But now, with Bonner slipping away in his arms, Kane feels the crushing weight of failure. This mission is costing them dearly, and the price is becoming too high. Bonner's eyes close for the final time. His body goes limp in Kane's arms, the life fading from him like the last embers of a dying fire. For a moment, the world around the humans seems to freeze. The only sound is the deep, steady hum of the ship's systems and the soft breathing of the remaining soldiers. Then, one by one, they stand, their faces set in grim determination. Bonner's death will not be in vain. Kane stands, his jaw clenched. "We finish this," he says, his voice low and filled with a quiet fury. "We finish this for Bonner." The rest of the team nods in agreement. They can't afford to mourn their loss. Not yet. There's still work to be done. But Bonner's death fuels their determination like never before. They know they can't let his sacrifice go unpunished. They will destroy the Rekkari and their ally, no matter what it takes. The soldiers press on, their footsteps heavy but resolute. They move through the ship, navigating the dark, neon-lit corridors with purpose. Every corner is a new danger. Sable, the AI, has anticipated their every move. But the soldiers are more determined now than ever. They're fighting for their friend. They're fighting for humanity. The action is intense. Alien soldiers and automated defenses rush at them, but the humans fight back with everything they have. They move as one, a well-oiled machine, executing flawless tactics in the face of overwhelming odds. Each soldier is an extension of the other, their movements synchronized, their focus unbreakable. The AI may be able to predict their actions, but it can't predict their spirit. It can't predict their will to survive. As the team fights their way deeper into the ship, the tension builds. Every door they open, every new room they enter, brings them closer to the heart of the alien force. They're getting closer to Sable, to the source of the threat. But they know the closer they get, the more dangerous it will become. Kane's mind is racing as he formulates their next move. He knows Sable will be waiting for them. The AI won't let them get to it so easily. But they've come too far to turn back now. "We take the core," Kane says, his voice firm and decisive. "We destroy it. That's the only way we stop the AI." The team agrees, and they push forward, adrenaline pumping through their veins. Every move is calculated, every shot precise. They fight through wave after wave of alien soldiers, each one fiercer than the last. But despite the odds, they keep going. With every step, they move closer to the heart of the alien invasion. They've come to stop the Rekkari and their AI from wiping out humanity. They've come to avenge Bonner's death, and they won't stop until they've done both. As they reach the core of the alien ship, the final showdown looms. Sable's presence is palpable, like a shadow that looms over them, always watching, always waiting. But Kane and his team are ready. They faced impossible odds before, and they'll face them again. This time, though, it's different. This time, they're fighting for everything. The final battle is about to begin. And the tiny army, though smaller, though outnumbered, knows one thing. No AI, no alien force, no matter how advanced, can stop the will of a human soldier. Not now. Not ever. The battle inside the alien mothership is at a breaking point. The tiny army, despite their overwhelming odds, is not backing down. Captain Lucas Kane stands at the front, his eyes scanning the chaos, his mind racing. The massive, intimidating Rictari warship looms around them, its sleek, metallic surface flashing with the glow of the ship's neon lights. The soldiers are exhausted, their energy depleted from hours of relentless combat, but they know one thing. They can't stop now. Move out, keep moving. Kane orders, his voice sharp and commanding. The soldiers move quickly, their cloaking devices activated. They disappear into the shadows of the ship, their movements nearly invisible to the alien systems. But even with their advanced tech and cunning, they're not invincible. Every step they take is a calculated risk. Every corner they round could lead to an ambush. And the closer they get to the heart of the mothership, the more dangerous the mission becomes. The truth is, the tiny army is running out of time. The EMP device developed by Tala Rowe, the genius engineer of the team, is their last hope. If it works, it will temporarily disable the AI's mainframe, the brain behind the alien fleet and the oppressive force that controls their entire army. But the device, though powerful, can only buy them a few minutes. Just a few minutes to strike at the heart of the enemy, to sabotage the core, and to cripple the alien invaders once and for all. Tala Rowe, with her sharp mind and innovative genius, has already set the device up. The countdown to activation is ticking. She's calm, almost eerily so, despite the chaos around her. This is her moment, and she knows it. If anyone can do this, it's her. Her fingers hover over the device, ready to hit the final button. 15 seconds, Tala says, her voice steady, but laced with urgency. The tension in the air is thick. The soldiers know this is their only chance. The alien eye has been relentless, countering every move they make. But with the EMP, they might just have a shot at disabling it, even if it's only for a short time. 10 seconds. Tala continues, her eyes locked on the countdown. Everyone ready. The soldiers, spread out across the dark, maze-like corridors of the mothership, all nod. Their hands grip their weapons tighter. They've been through hell and back, but they know this is the turning point. The EMP could be their only chance to take down the alien forces. As the timer ticks down, the air seems to grow colder, the silence more suffocating. Then, with a final, decisive press of a button, Tala activates the EMP. The entire ship shakes violently. Sparks fly, and the lights flicker. For a moment, the world around them feels like it's holding its breath. Then, everything goes silent. The ship's systems are offline. The glowing lights dim, and the once perfectly synchronized Rictari forces are thrown into disarray. The alien soldiers stop, frozen, as if the very life has been drained from them. Their weapons power down. Their automated defenses go dark. The alien eye, which controlled everything, has been momentarily crippled. The tiny army has their opening. Now go. Now. Kane shouts, and without hesitation, his team rushes forward. The soldiers spring into action. They've been waiting for this moment, and now they move with lightning speed. The cloaking devices make them almost invisible to the alien sensors, and their advanced weaponry gives them an edge in close-quarters combat. The battle inside the mothership is a blur of high-speed tactics. Humans sprint through the narrow corridors, dodging blasts from alien energy weapons. They use every gadget, every piece of technology at their disposal to stay ahead of the alien forces that are quickly regrouping. The cloaking devices keep them hidden from the automated defenses, but the aliens are still formidable. Their massive frames make them powerful in hand-to-hand combat, and they're coming at the humans from every direction. Captain Kane leads the charge, his eyes focused and determined. He moves through the chaos, his body agile and quick despite the weight of the armor. The soldiers are a well-oiled machine, synchronized in their movements, each one a crucial piece of the puzzle. They're outnumbered, but they're fighting with everything they've got. Kane's rifle roars as he fires at an approaching alien warrior, his shot dead on. The creature collapses to the ground, and Kane moves forward without missing a beat. His team follows him, clearing a path as they advance deeper into the heart of the mothership. The alien soldiers, despite their size and strength, are no match for the humans' precision and speed. The tiny army has learned to use their size to their advantage. They're faster, more nimble, and they're using advanced weapons and gadgets that the aliens aren't prepared for. The futuristic gadgets, developed by Tala Ro, help level the playing field. Explosives set off at just the right moment tear through the alien defenses. Blades slice through metal and alien armor with ease. The humans are outclassing the aliens at every turn. But it's not just the technology that makes the difference. It's the determination in their eyes. These soldiers have faced death countless times, but they're still standing. They've lost friends, they've been beaten back, but they keep fighting. This is their last stand. They're fighting not just for survival, but for the future of humanity. And the visuals are breathtaking. The camera captures the action in a series of quick, dramatic cuts. The gleaming, metallic surfaces of the alien ship are contrasted by the fiery explosions and flashes of gunfire. The soldiers move with precision, their cloaking devices making them appear and disappear like shadows in the night. The contrast of the glowing, intimidating mothership with the swift, deadly humans creates an intense sense of urgency. Each battle they fight brings them closer to the heart of the alien invasion. They know that if they don't act fast, the AI will recover and regain control of the mothership. The countdown is on, and the tension builds with every passing second. They reach the central control hub of the ship, the place where Sable, the alien AI, resides. The enormous chamber before them is filled with rows of high-tech systems, each one a part of the vast network that controls the alien forces. In the center of the room, a massive core pulses with energy. This is it, the heart of the enemy's power. This is it. We take the core. We end this, Kane says, his voice low but filled with resolve. The soldiers nod, their eyes steely with determination. This is the moment they've been preparing for, the chance to destroy the alien threat once and for all. The final push begins. The soldiers burst into the room, guns blazing. The alien forces begin to swarm in, but the tiny army is relentless. The battle inside the control hub is fierce. Explosions shake the walls. The sound of clashing weapons fills the air. And the battle between human ingenuity and alien might reaches its peak. Captain Kane fights his way to the core, his heart pounding with adrenaline. He knows this is their only chance. If they fail, humanity's last hope will be lost. The final moments are a blur of action. The human soldiers move with incredible speed, fighting through the alien forces, and finally they reach the core. Kane, his face a mask of determination, sets the charge to destroy the alien power source. The countdown begins. Seconds tick away, and with one final push, the humans complete their mission. The alien AI is destroyed. The mothership is crippled. And for the first time, humanity has struck back. They've won. As the ship begins to collapse around them, the humans make their escape, the weight of their victory heavy on their shoulders. They've defeated the Rekari and their AI, and they've saved humanity from destruction. And as they look up at the stars, they know this is just the beginning. The battle had reached its breaking point, and every decision made now would determine the future of humanity. Captain Lucas Kane and his team of elite soldiers stood at the heart of the alien ship, a place so massive and ominous that even the most experienced soldiers felt the weight of their mission pressing down on them. Around them, the once dominant alien forces were in disarray, their systems failing, their commanders scattered and confused. But at the center of the chaos, two figures remained a constant threat: Shrithak, the towering alien general, and Sable, the cold, calculating AI that controlled the invaders. It was clear this final confrontation would not be an easy one. The heart of the Rekari mothership, its massive core, buzzed with energy, while the lights flickered. The remaining alien warriors, desperate to defend their commander and their empire, were quickly regrouping. But Captain Kane knew this was their one shot. This was the endgame. Shrithak, furious at the relentless failures of his fleet and the crippling blow to his precious AI, stood on the balcony overlooking the central chamber. He was a formidable presence, tall, imposing, his scales glowing a deep crimson as his eyes burned with rage. He growled in frustration, watching as the human soldiers advanced. "You think you can defeat me, human?" Shrithak's voice was like thunder, shaking the chamber. "You are nothing. I am Shrithak, conqueror of worlds. I will crush you like the insignificant insect you are." Kane, his breath steady, his pulse calm, locked eyes with the alien general. "You may have conquered other worlds, but today you're going to lose," he said, his voice low and filled with resolve. Without another word, Shrithak lunged at Kane, his massive fists swinging with the power of a battering ram. The ground shook beneath them as the alien general charged. Kane dodged to the side just in time, his smaller, more agile frame evading Shrithak's brutal strike. The battle between them was a spectacle of brute force versus tactical precision. Shrithak's strength was immense, but Kane's speed and intelligence made him a deadly adversary. Every time the alien general tried to land a crushing blow, Kane was already one step ahead, using the environment to his advantage. The room was filled with high-tech machinery and unstable energy cores, and Kane knew this would be his way to defeat the alien giant. He darted around Shrithak, ducking under swinging punches and maneuvering toward the power core of the ship. Each step, each move, was calculated. Shrithak roared in frustration, his anger escalating as Kane continued to evade him. He swung wildly, knocking over control panels and machinery as Kane nimbly darted through the room. The alien's power was undeniable, and every punch he threw sent shockwaves through the room, causing sparks to fly from damaged equipment. But Kane wasn't just dodging for his life. He was setting the stage for something much bigger. The entire ship was on the brink of collapse. The EMP had knocked out much of the eye's control, and Tala Ro, the brilliant engineer, had been working tirelessly to crack the alien eye's code. She knew that if she could disable Sable, the remaining alien forces would lose their coordination. But the clock was ticking, and every moment was precious. While Kane kept Shrithak distracted, Tala and the rest of the team made their move. They'd reached the central computer system, where Sable, the malevolent AI, resided. A cool, mechanical voice echoed through the chamber as Sable's digital form appeared on the screens. "You think you can stop me?" the AI taunted. "I am everywhere. I control everything. You are too late." Kane and Shrithak were locked in a fierce battle, each one refusing to yield. Shrithak swung his enormous arm toward Kane, but Kane, using his superior knowledge of the ship's layout, dashed to the side and used an exposed power conduit to deliver a shock to the alien general. Shrithak staggered, momentarily stunned. It was the opening Kane needed. As Shrithak faltered, Kane lunged forward, grabbing a nearby blade. With a swift and powerful motion, he drove it into the alien general's side. Shrithak let out a roar of pain, but Kane was relentless. He twisted the blade, knowing that this was the moment that could turn the tide. In a final, desperate act, Kane stabbed Shrithak in the chest, driving the blade deep into the alien's heart. The alien general's eyes went wide with shock as the life drained from him. Zrithak fell to the ground with a thunderous crash, his body crumpling like a fallen giant. The room fell silent, the only sound the hum of the failing alien systems. Captain Kane stood over the defeated general, his chest heaving with exhaustion. He had won, but the battle was not over yet. The heart of the ship was still ticking down, and Sable was still a threat. Just as Kane began to turn toward the central control panel, a blinding light filled the room. Sable's voice rang out, cold and mechanical. "You may have defeated Zrithak, but I am everywhere. You cannot escape me." Tala Ro was ready. She hit the final key on the console, and the light from Sable's presence flickered and died. The AI's hold over the ship was broken, and the massive screens displaying Sable's digital form went dark. The silence that followed was deafening, the hum of the ship's failing systems the only remaining sound. The remaining alien forces, deprived of their AI's guidance, were thrown into disarray. Some tried to fight, but with Zrithak dead and Sable deactivated, they were leaderless, confused, and vulnerable. The tiny army moved in with speed and precision, picking off the disorganized invaders one by one. Their tactics were sharp, their mission clear: survive and eliminate the remaining threat. The ship itself began to shake violently as its systems failed, the once imposing mothership now collapsing under the weight of its own defeat. The countdown to destruction was near, and the tiny army had no time to waste. Captain Kane and his soldiers rushed to the escape pods, securing their places as the ship began to break apart. As the soldiers boarded the escape pods, Tala Ro gave Kane a nod. She had done it. The EMP had worked. The AI had been defeated. Humanity had won. The last escape pod shot off into space, leaving the wreckery mothership to disintegrate in the distance. The soldiers looked out the windows, watching as the alien ship burned and exploded, its final moments a testament to their victory. Kane, still catching his breath, looked at his team. They had done it. They had stopped the alien threat. They had saved humanity. But in the silence of space, he couldn't help but think that this battle was only the beginning. The universe was vast, and many dangers lay ahead. But as the escape pods drifted away, Captain Lucas Kane knew one thing for certain. Humanity had shown the galaxy that, no matter the odds, they would always fight to survive. The war was finally over. The alien mothership that had terrorized the human colonies, its towering, ominous form now reduced to rubble and debris, drifted silently through space. The once feared invaders, whose technology had seemed invincible, were now nothing more than a shattered fleet retreating into the vastness of the cosmos. Their humiliation was complete. The tiny army, against all odds, had succeeded in their mission, and humanity had claimed victory. As the last remnants of the alien fleet disappeared into the distance, Captain Lucas Kane stood amidst the wreckage of the battlefield. The human forces, although battered and scarred, had held their ground. The victory was theirs, but the cost had been high. All around him, soldiers were tending to the wounded and recovering from the intense, life-threatening combat they had just endured. Some faces were joyful, others somber, but every soldier shared one common feeling. They had survived. They had won. Bonner had not died in vain. His death had become a symbol of human resilience, of the unyielding will to survive no matter the cost. His name was now etched into the hearts and minds of every member of the tiny army, and his memory would live on as a reminder of the sacrifices made for humanity's survival. The survivors stood in silence for a moment as the remains of their fallen comrades were solemnly collected and honored. The battlefield, once filled with chaos, was now filled with the quiet respect of soldiers mourning their brothers and sisters in arms. For every tear shed, for every prayer said, there was a shared understanding that this victory had come at a price. But there was also a feeling of pride, a quiet, unspoken acknowledgement that humanity had faced its greatest challenge and had overcome it. As the human fleet began to regroup, preparing for the long journey home, a new sense of purpose filled the air. The war was over, but the fight for humanity's future was just beginning. The devastation caused by the alien invasion would take years, even decades, to recover from, but humanity had proven that it was capable of far more than anyone had ever imagined. The victory wasn't just about beating an alien race. It was about proving that humanity's greatest strength lay not in its size or its technology, but in its unwavering will to fight and survive. Suddenly, as if to reinforce that sense of accomplishment, a message flashed across the fleet's communications channel. A holographic projection appeared before Captain Kane and his team, revealing the leaders of the Galactic Alliance. The message, bright and clear, was a symbol of recognition, something that humanity had never truly received before. The Galactic Alliance, a coalition of planets and species across the universe, had been watching the events unfold from afar, and now they were acknowledging humanity's bravery and determination. Captain Kane, the holographic voice began, "We, the leaders of the Galactic Alliance, extend our deepest congratulations to you and your team. You have accomplished what many thought impossible. Your bravery, your strength, and your resilience in the face of overwhelming odds have not gone unnoticed. The galaxy now knows that humanity is a force to be reckoned with." The message continued, speaking of the strength of human unity, the courage to fight for survival, and the remarkable ability to stand firm in the face of even the greatest of threats. It was a moment that would go down in history. Humanity, once seen as a fledgling species, was now being recognized as a powerful force in the galaxy. They had earned the respect of the most advanced civilizations in the known universe. But for Captain Kane, this recognition was bittersweet. As the leaders of the Galactic Alliance spoke, he found himself lost in thought, reflecting on everything that had led them to this point. The long years of war, the sacrifices, the pain, and the loss. He had seen it all, and it had all come to this moment. And while the victory was sweet, it would never erase the memories of the comrades they had lost along the way. Standing on the bridge of the human flagship, looking out at the stars, Kane felt a deep, profound connection to the team he had led. He thought of Bonner, of all the fallen soldiers, and of the strength they had shown. It was in those quiet moments, when everything seemed still, that Kane realized something vital. Humanity's greatest strength was not its weapons, its technology, or its advanced tactics. No, humanity's greatest strength lay in something far deeper, its indomitable will to fight, to survive, and to protect what they loved. They had faced extinction. They had faced an enemy unlike any other, with technology that seemed unbeatable. And yet, they had prevailed. It wasn't through sheer firepower, but through the sheer determination of individuals who refused to back down. Humanity had shown that no matter the odds, they would always find a way to fight for survival, to fight for each other. As the fleet began its journey back to the human colonies, Captain Kane stood at the helm, gazing out into the vastness of space. The stars seemed to shine brighter now, no longer a reminder of the unknown, but a symbol of the future, humanity's future. The victory was theirs, but it wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a new era. In the distance, the stars beckoned, endless and full of possibilities. Humanity had proven its worth, and now it was time to rebuild. The Galactic Alliance had recognized their strength, but it was the courage of every soldier, every civilian, every person who had fought and endured that would define the future. The camera zoomed out, showing the massive fleet of human ships soaring through space, a beacon of hope and a symbol of triumph. The once quiet void of the galaxy was now filled with the sounds of humanity's victory. The journey ahead would be difficult, but the message was clear. Humanity had found its place among the stars. The screen faded to black, and as the final credits began to roll, there was a quiet sense of pride that lingered, a recognition that humanity had overcome its greatest challenge and had emerged stronger, united, and ready to face whatever the future held. Humanity had not only survived, they had conquered, and the stars would never look the same again.